At the end of PT, we see our protagonist step out into the streets of Silent Hill in a revelatory cutscene which is in fact entirely rendered in real time by the PlayStation 4 hardware. Sadly, the cutscene soon ends, and we never get to visit and explore those streets for ourselves, our experience having been rather limited mostly to the game's looping hallway. But what if there were a way to break out from that loop? Hello everyone, my name is Lance, and today we are going to escape from PT's endless hallway and step out into Kojima Productions' rendition of the streets of Silent Hill.
After killing his family, the father hung himself.
To explain how this is achieved, the game engine used by PT is able to cleverly link together separate map files to create the illusion of an endless loop. By changing the code involved in this process, I was able to seamlessly connect PT's familiar starting room to the map file used for the ending cinematic. Unfortunately, this area is not meant to be traversed by the player character, and thus it has no collision information, and we immediately fall through the ground. Interestingly, this causes Lisa to appear and reset the game. I find it fairly amazing that the developers actually accounted for us finding a way to break out of bounds, and created an event to handle it in such a way, rather than just having us fall endlessly. So in order to circumvent this, I patched the game in a way that causes the player character to float just a small distance above the ground at all times. With this done, we can safely, for the first time ever, explore the streets of Silent Hill as they appear in PT. One of the first things we come across here is the trail which we also saw the protagonist following in the cinematic. This ends in a small puddle, and the main open streets stretch out ahead of us. To the left is a fairly detailed area outside of a massive apartment building. Up on the highest level of the fire escape, we can even see a potted plant. Looking down from up here helps us really appreciate the amount of detail that went into building the area. On the opposite side of the road is a fenced-off parking area with a few cars left unattended, among other things. All throughout, the silhouette of water towers across the rooftops at night communicates Silent Hill's archetypical heavy and oppressive atmosphere. Returning to street level, we can continue exploring down the main road. Miscellaneous clutter lines the streets to make sure every area looks somewhat unique. As is common in Silent Hill, there's a perpetual feeling of the entire world both being under construction and long since abandoned. The street signs, roadblocks, and scaffolding throughout help to create this unwelcoming atmosphere. A larger, unique structure is placed up against the building on the other side of the road, with a potted plant sitting on top. Up ahead is a slightly more richly detailed area. A few more vehicles are placed along the road, accompanied by some signage. Beyond this is some more plant life, from large trees down to tiny plants growing through the gaps in the pavement. The distant lamplight and structures seen from here suggest that we're getting closer to the end of this street now. The pavement has a reflective element when the flashlight's beam hits it just right. The layout of each apartment building is somewhat unique as well, with the fire escapes and air conditioners being hand-placed to avoid repetition. Coming to the end of the main road brings us to a fence with a tree, power lines, and a car on the opposite side. Crossing the road past this fence, there are simply more apartment buildings with decorative features similar to what we saw earlier. Continuing down the road, we come to pass under a large bridge. And finally, making our way through here brings us to the end of the area, with nothing further beyond. I found it fairly amazing to have a chance to explore a somewhat entirely new physical space in PT, something handcrafted by the team at Kojima Productions while in-house at Konami as an official part of the mainline Silent Hill series. While there's no way to be sure what the future holds, this may be the final canonical rendition of Silent Hill ever to exist. So I hope you feel that I helped in some way today by giving you a chance to explore along with me. If you did enjoy the video, feel free to subscribe and hit the like button, and you might consider taking a look at the description below to find a few ways to follow and support my work going forward. I'm always working on showing you something new from games that mean a lot to me, and I hope might also mean something to you as well. Either way, thank you for watching, I'll see you next time.